Welcome back to Hammer, your source for 40k from the Great White North. Tonight's tactics video is on target priority. Welcome back to Hammer, everybody, your source for 40k from the Great White North. Today is another tactics video, and we are going to be talking about target priority. Now, target priority is super important as a general kind of macro tactic of playing 40k. So, you know, some people like to split tactics into sort of bigger macro topics and sort of more micro things like what to do with specific models. Macro tactics would be things like how to deploy and, you know, army building and things like that, whereas micro tactics are things like how to do your 3-inch paladin and things like that. So up to this point we've been covering mostly micro topics, and we'll start hitting and touching upon some macro topics. Now, these are supposed to be short tactics videos, so they will not be full discourses on macro topics, but just a few tips here and there to get you going, and you can start practicing in your games. So the principle of target priority is that you should, there are a few principles to observe when you're talking about target priority, and really it's about picking what to shoot at what target at the right time, with the general principles in mind that you generally want to kill what you shoot at, or at least make them die from morale. So you generally want to pick what you can kill and kill what you can shoot. So you want to pick the right weapon for the right target, okay? Unless you have no other choice, generally you want to use the right kind of weapons to kill the right kind of targets. And this is especially true in 8th edition, where certain weapon types are way better at dealing with certain types of targets than others. And not only does that affect how you build your army and how you outfit individual models and units, but in the game, how you choose what to shoot and when to shoot and with what. So I have an example of some models here that have different sorts of weapons and what you would want to shoot things with. So let's just talk about that quickly. So here we have Big Bertha, my Shadow Sword, and the Shadow Sword, amongst other things, has the Volcano Cannon. Now this thing gets bonuses to shoot Titanic units and does up to 2d6 damage every hit. So clearly this weapon is supposed to be killing big things, knights, other super heavies, Primarchs, things like that. You know, killing one guardsman with a volcano cannon is kind of pointless, but you know, granted, if there's nothing else to shoot at, then go for it. But you know, that's what this gun is for. So generally you're paying the big points for this, so you want to use this to kill big stuff. On the other hand, we have here a Mortar Team. So the Mortar Team is shooting a high number of shots, d6 shots, potentially high number of shots, only strength 4, no rend, and only 1 damage, and indirect fire. So these guys are meant to shoot en masse at weak chaff infantry. So Gaunts, other guardsmen, maybe even Eldar, but you know, things with low armor saves, low toughness, so that you're hitting on 4s and wounding on 3s. Once you hit toughness 4, now that you're wounding on 4s, you already cut your shooting significantly when you're trying to hit things that are toughness 4. So ideally you want to be aiming at things that are toughness 3 and below, using your large number of shots to just, and the target's low armor save to make sure they die. Yeah, so you know, toughness 3, 4. Once you start hitting things that are higher toughness than strength 4, you lose massive efficiency with these guys, and they become pretty useless. Here we have a Hellhound. So the Hellhound has 2 flamer type weapons, and flamers automatically hit. So these weapons are effective against things that are -1 to hit, -2 to hit, or worse. Or flyers are another great example of things that are automatically -1 to hit, and in some factions even more than that, but they automatically hit them because of the flamer weapon. And it doesn't matter how weak the tank is, because the ballistic skill doesn't matter, they're auto hit. So if you have things that auto hit, you have to keep that in mind. They might serve a particular target better than others. And finally, we have the humble tactical marines, and they have a variety of different heavy weapons. So what you shoot, because now you have the ability to shoot this guy at something and these guys at something else, you really want to pick your targets well. You want to shoot your bolters at infantry, and you want to shoot your las cannon at tanks and other heavy things like that. You don't want to be shooting, at one guardsman with a las cannon, of course, unless you don't have a choice. So, and then when you kit out your marines, you can put so many different weapons on them and split them into different squads. They really have different purposes and different targets that they're looking to kill. So it's very important to work that out. The final thing to say about target priority is you want to be able to shoot things in the right order. So, let's say that you're playing an army of 4 knights here. You're the knight player, and you're facing a guard army, which is all infantry, hellhounds, and a shadow sword. And you get first turn. So, what's your target priority? Your target priority is to kill this guy, because this can one-shot one of your knights on their next turn. Your target priority is not to take out infantry and all these things. The first thing you should be trying to do is kill a shadow sword, and you don't stop shooting it until you kill it. And then you can be safe with everything else. So that's the other aspect of target priority, is picking your targets correctly and taking out the things that can take you out in return before they get the chance to do that. So I hope that little quick run through target priority is helpful for everybody. We will be trying to cover some more macro topics in the tactics series. Please let us know if there's anything specific that you want us to cover below in the comments. Please like the video, subscribe, and consider supporting us on Patreon. Thank you very much, and we'll catch you next time.